King Xerxes ruled Persia with an iron fist. His reign was marked by both grandeur and fear, a combination that kept his subjects in awe and submission. His parties were legendary, filled with the finest wines and the most sumptuous feasts. Nobles and dignitaries from far and wide would attend, eager to bask in the king's opulence. These gatherings were not just about food and drink, they were also showcases for the most beautiful women in the kingdom, each vying for the king's favor. One day, in a display of his absolute power, he commanded his queen Vashti to appear before him and his guests to show off her beauty. She refused, an act of defiance that enraged the king. Her refusal was seen as a direct challenge to his authority. In his fury, he banished her from his sight, stripping her of her title and casting her out of the palace. A royal proclamation was issued, and a search began for a new queen to take Vashti's place. Young women from all over the kingdom were brought to the palace, each hoping to be the one chosen by the king. Among them was Esther, a beautiful Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai. She was different from the others, not just in her beauty but in her grace and humility. Esther found favor in the king's eyes, her presence captivated him and he was drawn to her in a way he had not been to any other. He placed a golden crown upon her head and proclaimed her his queen, a decision that would change the course of history. Little did he know, she harbored a secret. Esther was Jewish, a fact that could endanger her life if discovered. Mordecai had warned her to keep this secret, knowing the peril it could bring. She listened intently, understanding the gravity of her situation. The Jewish people, scattered and vulnerable, watched with bated breath. They knew that Esther's position could either be their salvation or their doom. Would Esther be their salvation or their downfall? The fate of an entire people rested on her shoulders, and the future was uncertain. Life in the palace was a whirlwind of luxury and intrigue. The halls echoed with laughter and the air was thick with the scent of exotic spices and perfumes. Esther, ever mindful of her secret, played her role flawlessly. Meanwhile, Mordecai, a faithful man, spent his days at the palace gates. One day Mordecai overheard a sinister plot. Two of the king's guards planned to assassinate him. Mordecai immediately alerted Esther, who informed the king. The news of the decree spread like wildfire. Fear and despair gripped the Jewish community. Mordecai tore his clothes in mourning and pleaded with Esther to intercede. Esther was terrified. Approaching the king uninvited meant certain death unless he extended his scepter. She hesitated, torn between her duty to her people and the risk to her own life. "If I perish, she declared, her voice trembling but resolute. For 3 days and nights she fasted and prayed, preparing herself for the ultimate test of courage. With a heart pounding in her chest, Esther approached the king's throne room. She knew the gravity of the moment and the risk she was taking. Her people's fate rested on her shoulders, and every step she took echoed with the weight of her mission. The doors swung open, revealing the king in all his glory. The room was filled with an air of tension and anticipation, as everyone present knew that this was no ordinary audience. To her immense relief, he extended his golden scepter. This simple gesture signified that she was welcome, and could speak freely, a moment of profound significance for Esther. Esther, with grace and eloquence, revealed her hidden identity, and Haman's treacherous plot. Her voice was steady, and her words were clear, as she laid bare the danger that loomed over her people. The king, enraged by the betrayal, ordered Haman's immediate execution. His fury was palpable, and his decision swift, as justice was served in the royal court. The gallows he had built for Mordecai became his own place of death. In a twist of fate, Haman met the end he had so cruelly planned for another. A wave of relief and joy washed over the Jewish community. They were saved. The streets filled with laughter and tears of happiness as the news spread. To commemorate their deliverance, they established the festival of Purim, a time of feasting, celebration, and remembrance. It became a cherished tradition, a symbol of their survival and unity. Esther's story serves as a timeless testament to the power of courage and faith in the face of adversity. Her bravery continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the impact one person can have. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope can triumph over hate, and one person's bravery can change the course of history. Esther's legacy is a beacon of hope, showing that courage and faith can lead to deliverance and celebration.